We're making her.
Following 4 straight wins, allowing the 11-year-old team to win the sectional championship and continue on to the state tournament. Whereas the state tournament was held in Athens, Pennsylvania, and started on July 23rd. There, the 11-year-old team would lose their first game to Newtown and was required to play the next 6 days, winning every game. The 11-year-old team beat Eastside in the bottom of the 6th inning to win the championship, sending them to Beverly, Massachusetts, with the East Greenfield winner, which started on August 2nd. Whereas the 11-year-old team played Maine and won 11-0. Next came Rhode Island with the win of 5, who will continue to play New York in the semifinal and win 7-0. The championship was against New Jersey, which was won 12-0 by innings. The 11-year-old team outscored their opponents 35-0 in the previous tournament. And whereas we thank you for representing Aston Township in such an amazing way. We should be very proud of your accomplishments, hard work, and determination. Julia McBain, happy birthday, Sept Township, Aston Township, Aston Middletown, Redwood, 11-year-old regional team. Therefore, we claim this Aston Middletown, 11-year-old regional team. I'm going to just add in this whole speech. I have been part of Aston Middletown for over 50 years. You guys made my I followed you all the way. I couldn't come to your gate when you began to travel, but you sure did. And I am so proud because I worked very hard to build Aston Middletown. We had no running water when I started there. We had no little field. We made you so proud. So congratulations to all of you. I want to give you coaches and proclamations. Chuck, you played when I was down there. He was a little boy down there when I was there, and Mr. McConnell was there as well. There's our proclamation. If you want one, each of the children will be there.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Good luck to you.
So we have two other teams to honor the next. So, and I don't know if this is the way the batting order was, but leading off, at least for tonight, is number 22, Shane Steinman. Tonight, number 24, Nick Hoffman. Number 7, Samir Dillon. Number 11, Chase Callahan. Number 99, Michael Simaview. Number 21, Brody Orr. Number 4, Zach Barrett. Number 19, Riley Comizet. Number 3, Colt Sullivan. 33, Dean Massey. Number 42, Rocco Simone. And number 32, Kyle Ansel. Not here tonight is number 7, Devin Cuddy Martin. Coaches, I'm going to call them all out so we get a group applause for all of them. Mike Simone, Jeff Tomczak, all right, so I'm going to read a proclamation and just a little comment after. But the Township of Aston, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, proclamation. Whereas the Board of Commissioners, Township of Aston, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, desires to honor the Aston Middletown Little League 12U District and Section 8 Championship team. And whereas Aston Middletown Little League lost Game 1 in both the district and sectional play, but went on to win 7 straight games to win the District 19 title, and then 4 straight wins to win the Section 8 title, coming out of the loser's bracket. And whereas the following are the key offensive players and their stats. Rocco Simone had a 700 average, is that right? That's pretty good. Brody Orr, 19 hits. Devin Cuddy Martin, 15 runs. Colt Sullivan, 17 RBI. And whereas the following are key pitching and defensive players and their stats. Riley Tomczak, 20 strikeouts. Brody Orr, 6 wins. Chase Callahan, a 1.105 ERA. And Nick Hoffman, Devin Cuddy Martin, and Zach Barron had 6 double plays. And whereas we thank you for representing Aston Township in such an amazing way, you should be very proud of your accomplishments, hard work, and determination. Proclaimed by Aston Township, duly proclaimed this 21st day of September 2022. So, for those that don't play Little League or families aren't involved, it's the last year right in the fields down there, down by Chester Creek. So, it's a great accomplishment. We get to the state tournament, get those extra games, and next year you move up, in terms of the bigger field. So, great way to end your careers. A lot of these guys that my sons played with or I've coached with you, against you. Shane, I won't tell the rest of the football coaches. I coached Shane in football and he missed practice tonight. But congratulations, everyone. Way to represent Aston Township, of course, Middletown as well. Thank you.
Again, Commissioner of the Fourth Ward, we're here to honor the Aston Town Tigers. I wish we could come up front here with us. That's the value. That's a test. That's the value. I'm just going to read a proclamation for the team here. Whereas the Board of Commissioners, Township of Aston, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, desire to honor the Aston Valley Little League Baby Tiger team with the 2022 Spring Season Championship win. And whereas the Tigers, coached by Zach and Bergia, finished the regular season in second place. The Tigers came out of winners bracket, beat the Red Sox 6-3. And whereas we thank you for representing Aston Township with an outstanding season and helping name the Aston Valley Major League champions for the 2022 spring season. You should be very proud of your accomplishments. Now, therefore, be proclaimed that the Board of Commissioners, the Aston Valley Little League Tigers Major Champions, duly proclaimed the 21st day of September. So we congratulate all you guys. Good season. Coaches.
citations. It does not give you a pass tonight for not doing homework. So if you just want to stay, we have a long agenda. You're more than welcome. If you kids got to get home, go to school tomorrow or homework, we totally understand. Zachary. So, I just want to thank you. I'd like to continue right now with the rest of the meeting. I need a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of July 20, 2022. Motion. Second. Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. I'd like to move on to committee reports. Commissioner Pendergrass. Shut that door, please.
Public Works Director Activity Report for August 2022, August 31st, 2022. The following report highlights the main activity of the Public Works Department, led by Director of Public Works, Russ Powell. All metal was picked up throughout the township. All county vehicles and active vehicles remained in service. All streetlights issues were reported to the NI entrance to replace fuel repair. All township park and property except branches and trash moved by the highway. All floor engine repair was completed in-house by our two quality mechanics. All 811 call sheets were reviewed and applicable streets were marked as per 811 guidelines. The highway department installed a 44-inch inlet next to the existing store replacement. In the backyard of 71 cars to help alleviate standing water. The fencing surrounding the retention pond Glendale and East Dublin Way was repaired. This fence was damaged in a car accident. The department cleared unwanted trees and shrubs at the firehouse. The team picked up and removed the Mount Road that was illegally dumped. Newman University students volunteered for their time and assisted our team in adding stone to the walking path at Fisher Park. The Highway Department repaired an inlet at the intersection of Woodward Way and Blackmore and 10637 Convent Road. Our sanitation department 948005 at 103 Aston Township offices, Public Works Department will be closed on Monday, October 10th, 2022 for the Columbus Day holiday. All Monday and Tuesday trash and recycling will be picked up on Tuesday, October 11th, 2022. Thank you, Justin.
Thank you, Commissioner Devon. Commissioner Doherty, you're up.
Okay, I have before me the treasurer's report for Aston Township for August 2022. Operating August 31st, 2022, $1,557. Other funds include the TD Bank combined fund checking account with a balance of $390,222. TD Bank escrow check $1,137. And the TD Bank
Part 2 was 67%. And I got September 2022 police report. Incidents handled 508, accident investigations 23, criminal investigations
$50. Income from Board of Health licenses, $700. Income from peddlers and vendors permits, there was none. There also was none for the income from commercial maintenance inspections. Income from certificates of occupancy, 2005. That was for August, I think it was $908. Income from builders, building permits and general contractor licenses, $69,604 for peddlers and vendors permits. There nor was there any income from commercial maintenance inspections. Income from certificates of occupancy, $1,600. Rental licenses, $2,400. No income from street openings. Total collected during the month, $94,544. And the total for 2022, $431,452, compared to August of the year before, $962,482. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Commissioner McGinn?
Yeah, I have the fire report from the fire department. Just a couple of statistics to share with the group. So when you look at the fire calls in the last month, they're responding to 67 for a year-to-date total of 504. EMS calls last month, 166 for a year-to-date total of 1,381. And the total calls, if you add them up, 233 this month for a year-to-date total of 1,885. And here's a key statistic, a couple of them I'll go through. Average manpower per incident is 9. And the average response time, the time that it takes them to get on the scene for an EMS response, it's 6 minutes and 39 seconds. And for a fire dispatch, it's 6 minutes and 47 seconds. It just continues to be excellent. Appreciate the work our volunteer fire department does. And with that manpower, it's impressive and a great benefit to Aston Township. I will say also thank you on behalf of the Board of Commissioners. It's a great venue with this fire department completed, and it's great. Thank you for the hospitality that we've received to the fire department for the near future.
Thank you, Devin. Okay. Commissioner Bowden?
I have a library report for you. I'd like to let you all know that sort of Tuesdays at 2 p.m. they have a free chair Zumba class with Miss Lavina through October the 11th. After that, they'll have a chair yoga with Miss Donna at the same time and the same place. On Thursday evening, there's a craft group that's meeting again. Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. Bring your craft or choice of work with other crafters at the library. Story times are continuing in the gym. Wednesdays at 10:30 a.m. is the infant, young, and toddler time. Thursday at 10:30 a.m. is preschool, older toddler time. The Friends of the Library are raffling off a 55-inch Sony TV. You can get a ticket for $5 at the service steps of the library. The raffle will be drawn at the Aston Community Day on October 1st. Their next bingo will be on Saturday, October 22nd, from 6 to 9 at the Aston Community Center. The doors are open at 4:30 p.m., $25 admission, and it's all cash prizes. From the Park and Recreation Committee, we're having a township-wide Halloween decorating contest of your own. Judging will begin October 17th through October the 28th. It's a township-wide decorating contest. There'll be a first prize, a second prize, and a third prize. So decorate up Aston Township. And lastly, the Aston Seniors meet tomorrow, September 22nd, 10:45 at the Aston Community Center. If you'd like to come, pay your dues for $10, and you can have a free cookie lunch. And that's all I have.
Thank you. All right, I need a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
Make a motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Need a motion to approve the bills and payroll.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. I'd like to open up the floor to the public for agenda items only. If anyone has a question about the agenda, come to the podium. State your name and address, please.
Nicholas Spencer, 30 Morgan Road. I just want to know what's it mean by non-electoral debt?
Let's be on.
It's a debt that doesn't require a vote. Like, by the elected body, by the.
Right, but could I have an example?
Bill, the bond for the fire. Is that what?
You want an example of what a non-electoral debt is?
Right, what
What an electoral debt is?
Yes.
That I don't know.
Hopefully, when we get to that section, we can try to figure it out. You'll get an answer to that in a second, okay? Seeing no one else, we're going to call on Commissioner Higgins, please. Place the meeting.
I make a motion to place the meeting in Sendai.
I have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you, Commissioner Spadal. First on the agenda is a hearing to consider an ordinance amendment to Chapter 1275.4 of the Rockdale Arts Overlay District. This is the application of Aston Township to amend this section of the zoning code in order to add art studio as a permitted use. Pursuant to Section 609 of the Municipalities Planning Code, public notice of tonight's hearing was advertised in the September 6th and 13th editions of the Delaware County Daily Times. Advertisement also included notice of consideration of an ordinance amendment reflecting these changes. Prior to tonight's hearing, the application was reviewed by the Aston Township Planning Commission held on June 22nd and the Delaware County Planning Commission on July 21st, both of which recommended approval. By way of background, in October of 2021, the township adopted the Rockdale Arts Overlay District in order to encourage a mix of small-scale creative home business uses and arts-related businesses in commercial spaces oriented toward supporting visual, performing, and cultural arts while maintaining the residential character of the underlying residential neighborhood. Section 4 of the ordinance provides a list of art-related businesses and activities that are permitted under this ordinance. It appears that the more obvious verbiage was never included, namely art studio. So for this reason, it is recommended that subsection 4 of the ordinance be amended to include the following language as a permitted use. As it is, there's already 18 suggested uses. This will be numbers 19 and 20, which are studio, in which any one of the visual, performing, literary, or media arts are conducted, and such other uses that fulfill the purpose and intent of this ordinance. And this is a catch-all, so that way when there's a particular art-related activity shows up that we never heard of before, we're covered as long as it falls under the umbrella of the intent of the ordinance. Commissioners, that is the nature of the amendment.
Okay. I'm pretty embarrassed we're having this discussion tonight. We voted on this last October, and my team, we worked on this for several years, and we're so proud of ourselves. We thought of every possible contingency, every conditional use, except the most obvious one. So we had a Homer Simpson moment, about 4 months ago, and we had to add art studio, so we hopefully tonight we'll fix that oversight. So, sorry, we're back here.
Ray, you got anything? No. Commissioner Reagan?
No.
Commissioner Bowden? Anything? Question? Commissioner Reagan?
No.
Okay. Go. Anyone in the audience have a question? Okay.
Okay, next is the hearing on the consideration and possible enactment of an ordinance to authorize the incurrence of non-electoral debt by the issuance of the general obligation note 2022 series in the aggregate principal amount of $10 million and award a qualified interest rate management agreement related to the 2022 notes. Present tonight is Jeff Calhoun, who's the director at Calhoun Baker Incorporated. That is the municipal financial advisor for the township. I apologize, I've never come across anything other than the non-electoral debt, so I don't know an example. Perhaps Mr. Calhoun knows.
Sure. Electoral debt is just.
I'm sorry, can I have your name, please?
Jeff Calhoun.
Can you spell your last name?
CAL. Electoral debt is just debt that's held by referendum. Non-electoral debt is debt like this, and debt that was used to build this building in 2018. Non-electoral debt makes up 99%
but I don't know that you would put it on the ballot for a vote. But I can't think of an example.
Wait, who's voting? The commissioners or the whole township?
For an electoral debt,
Uh-huh.
the township votes.
Oh, the township votes,
Or
because I
not
was
elected.
saying, did the commissioners vote on this building?
Yes.
Yes.
And that's, it was also non-electoral, which is what this hearing is about as well. Okay. Mr. Keller?
I'll just briefly summarize what the ordinance is enacting. It's authorizing the occurrence of the general obligation notes for the 2022 series, an aggregate principal amount of $10 million. Sets forth the amortization schedule, budgets the full faith credit and taxing power of the township to guarantee timely payment of principal and interest, and approves the substantial forms of all the loan documents and authorizes the execution and delivery of those necessary documents. Happy to answer any questions.
Got to do the board first. Questions?
We have questions.
None. No questions. Commissioner again?
No questions.
Joe?
Nope.
When you say notes, you mean dollar bill notes, bank notes?
Notes, bonds, debt.
Why-
It's all debt.
Why can it only be stuff printed in 2022?
That's when 2022 is when these notes would be issued. So this debt would be issued in 2022.
That isn't issued in notes?
Debt and notes are synonymous. They're the same thing. Yeah, a loan.
Can't move this ball this way.
So if I can just clarify.
What's your name?
I'm sorry, Pat. So if I can just clarify, basically it's just raising a cap that would be voted on by the township commissioners compared to an electoral, is that what it is?
Basically, what I believe, and correct me if I'm mistaken, is we need to build a police station and a township building. We're starting the process of looking for funding on how to do that. So that's basically what we're doing. Is that correct?
And
It's a step by
just a cap-
step.
Yeah, it's just a cap that you can go up to that point.
Correct.
Before you have to bring it to us, right?
Correct. Yeah, so this is step one of that process. There's many other steps that we have to do some more talking and
Well, because we're still in a
investigation.
temporary building.
But that's basically what we're trying to achieve.
I just want to make sure I was on the same page.
Okay.
But the non-electoral is a fancy way of saying we're taking out a loan. So this is an ordinance to authorize the commissioners to take out a loan.
Right, and that's what I'm saying, it's a cap, like anything above that, then you would probably have to.
we'd have
Unless
to
you
come back.
amend it again, so, yeah, okay, thanks.
Right.
I'm
Anything
on the
else?
same page. That's all.
Good.
Can I come back with just one question?
Sure.
I think it's just good for the board. So, could you just elaborate on what the name of your firm is?
Delaware Valley Regional Finance Authority.
And what do you guys do?
We issue, or the authority was created by the 4 suburban counties in '85. We've issued upwards of $4.2 billion in municipal debt in Pennsylvania, mainly within the 4 counties. Never had a default or an issue in all the history. Plan on that being an issue. And this is very normal standard loan for a capital improvement project to build a township building and a police station.
And for the public to understand, what's the benefit for Aston Township or any township to work with Del Val versus a traditional bank, say TD Bank?
The cost, it's far cheaper than any other option that we have. Del Val would save the township 25% in costs that they would otherwise incur for a bond issue or a bank.
And why is that?
Del Val was set out to be an alternative to those different debt issuances, and the way Del Val is structured, it is able to have a lower cost of funds, which they can pass through directly to borrowers like yourself, who get to benefit from those lower costs.
Thanks. No other questions?
I just one more. What's the cap at currently?
10 million. For this one.
For this one? No, I mean, You're trying to amend it to be 10 million.
No, we're presenting that number. We estimate, and again, there's a lot of steps involved, but we estimate that within that 10 million, we can build a police and township building.
Oh, and it activated. So the ordinance is already on the books.
Now, today's the first step. We have to present it to the public. That's what we're doing now. And then we vote, and then to take the next step, and then there's other steps we have to take as a board and before we sign documents and lock in.
So you already can take a 10 million non-electoral debt?
We're asking to take the first step to achieve the loan from Del Dow for the 10 million to build a police station and a township building.
By raising the cap, right?
No.
That's the caps, the top that that's all we're expecting. We're not expecting to go over that amount.
I think you're talking about, that there's a 2018 series, which we're still paying on, okay?
No, I'm just thinking what's on our township ordinances already. What is the designated cap?
There isn't a limit. It depends on what the project costs. We estimated hopefully to come in at that number or less, based upon the other projects that we did. Great. Any other questions? All right, thank you. No? All right, I'd like to turn the meeting over to Commissioner Higgins. Jeff, thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you. I make a motion to take the meeting out of Sentai.
Thanks, sir. I have a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. All right, we're going to get into old business, line item A. Consider an ordinance to amend Rockdale Arts Overlay District. Should be a no-brainer.
Again, sorry. Township of Aston, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, ordinance number 1027. An ordinance of the Township of Aston, Delaware County, Pennsylvania to amend ordinance 1275-04 to include art studio as a permitted use in the Rockdale Arts Overlay District. Whereas the Aston Township Board of Commissioners recently adopted ordinance number 1018 entitled the Rockdale Arts Overlay District, wherein subsection 4 permitted uses under the district are identified, and whereas art studio is not specified as a permitted use, and whereas the Aston Township Board of Commissioners believe that an art studio should have been included as the type of business and activity envisioned for this cultural district. Now therefore be it resolved, this 21st day of September 2022, ordinance number 1275-04 is hereby amended to include the following language as a permitted use. Studio in which any one of the visual, performing, literary, or media arts are conducted, such other uses that fulfill the purpose and intent of this ordinance. Effective date, this ordinance shall be effective 10 days from the date of adoption. Repealer, any prior ordinance or parts thereof consistent with this ordinance are hereby repealed. Severability, the provisions of this ordinance and code sections adopted hereby are severable. If any clause, sentence, or section thereof shall be judged invalid or unconstitutional, such decision or judgment shall not affect the validity of the remaining provisions. Aston Township Board of Commissioners, James M. Seagal, President, tested by Kelly Pippin, in the form of motion.
Second. Second. Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. All right, line item B. Consider an ordinance to authorize the incurrence of a non-electoral debt by the issuance of a general obligation note 2022. Commissioner Dockery.
All right, well, this is a long one, but we're talking a lot of money, so I'll read the whole thing. Township of Aston, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, ordinance certification. I, the undersigned, Secretary of the Township of Aston, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, hereby certify that I am the official keeper of the school records of Sept Township and attached here to the true, correct, and complete copy of the ordinance of Sept Township, which ordinance was duly enacted by the Board of Commissioners at a public meeting held on September 21st, 2022. Ordinance number 1028 of the Board of Commissioners of the Township of Aston, Delaware County. The ordinance that authorizes the occurrence of non-electoral debt by the Township of Aston, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, pursuant to the issuance of the General Obligation Notes 2022 series in the aggregate principal amount of $10 million, and approves certain capital projects, approves the negotiated sale of the participant notes to the Delaware Valley Regional Finance Authority, approves the substantial forms of the loan documents, and authorizes execution and delivery of all necessary documents, states the amortization schedule and maximum annual debt service payments, authorizes and awards transactions under a qualified interest rate management agreement, and authorizes and directs the filing to the Department of Community and Economic Development. pledges the full faith, credit, and taxing power of the township for the timely repayment of the participant note, including the periodic payments due under the qualified interest rate management agreement, covenants to pay any termination charges, creates and appoints a sinking fund depository, authorizes the application for approval of the issuance of the participant note to the Department of Community and Economic Development, authorizes an advertisement of enactment and repeals inconsistent ordinances. I hereby certify that proper notice of said meeting was duly given to each member of the Board of Commissioners, that proper public notice of said meeting was duly given by publication in the paper of general circulation, published or circulated within said township in accordance with the Local Government Unit 10 Act, as amended and restated. That said meeting was open to the public at all times and was not adjourned, begun, recessed, or interrupted in any way except for the purpose of an executive session. That a quorum was present at said meeting and acted there and throughout. That said ordinance was duly enacted by the affirmative vote of a majority of the members of the Board of Commissioners, then holding office, and of a majority of all the members of the Board of Commissioners. That said ordinance and the vote of each member thereon have each been duly recorded in the minutes of said meeting of said Board of Commissioners. The proper public notice of the proposed enactment of said ordinance was duly published not less than 3 or more 30 days prior to enactment in accordance with the Dead Act in a newspaper of general circulation in the area of the township. The proper public notice of the final enactment of said ordinance was or will be duly given not later than 15 days after final enactment by similar publication in accordance with the Dead Act, and that said ordinance has not been amended or repealed as of the date thereof. In witnessing thereof, I have herein to sign my signature as such officer and fix hereto the seal of the Township of Aston, Delaware County, Pennsylvania. Kellyanne Pittman, Secretary, is the forward motion.
Second. I have second. Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Next item, line item C, consider the conditional use application of Rick Mamachari and A&A Enterprises LLC to use his property located at 2043 Bridgewater Road for sales, rentals, service, and storage of trucks and construction equipment associated with this business. This item we are going to table for tonight. We had a conditional use hearing on the 13th. His engineer, Nick Cirilli, was very diligent in getting some responses back to some questions and concerns we had, but the board has not fully reviewed everything, and we felt premature to make a vote tonight, so we will put that on the agenda for October. So next item, line item D, consider a motion to approve the extension request of McFadden Group. Commissioner Higgins, please.
Yes, I make a motion. Extension of time to consider subdivision and land development application. Land development or subdivision is at 3471 Concord Road, self-storage. We agreed to extend the time under the Aston Township Subdivision Code and Section 508 of the Pennsylvania Municipalities Planning Code, 53 PS, Article 10, 508, for the consideration of the above application to or before November 30, 2022. We understand that Aston Township Subdivision Ordinance of Section 508 of the Pennsylvania Municipalities Planning Code, 53 PD, Section 10, 508, may require a decision on the application by Aston Township on an earlier date, and failing such decision, the application would be deemed approved. If this extension of time extends the date when a decision on the application must be made to avoid a deemed approval, we waive our rights under the applicable law through an extend date. Dated 8/9/22, Brian McFadden is the managing partner, and that's in the form of a motion.
No. Do this.
Make a motion to approve the extension request of McFadden Group Inc. for the preliminary final land development plan, perfect self-storage, 3471 Concord Road, Aston, PA, 19014, until November 30, 2022, and that's in the form of a motion.
Second.
I have second. Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. New business, line item A, consider a minimum municipal obligation for the police pension plan. Commissioner Doctor.
I make a motion to accept and approve the minimum municipal obligation, MO, for the police pension plan in the amount of $1,264,427. Forward motion.
Second. We have second. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Line item B, consider accepting a minimum municipal obligation for the non-uniform employees pension plan. Commissioner Doherty.
I make a motion to accept and approve the minimum municipal obligation, MMO, for the non-uniform pension plan, in the amount of $140,592. For motion.
Second.
I have second. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Line item C, consider a resolution repealing resolution number 2009-17. Commissioner Bowman.
Aston Township, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, resolution number 2022-21. Whereas the Aston Township Board of Commissioners previously enacted resolution 2009-17, wherein a handicap-only parking sign was placed in front of the home located at 28 Green Lane. Whereas the posting of the sign, the police department has determined that the handicap parking sign is no longer warranted. Now therefore be resolved that Aston Township Board of Commissioners hereby rescind resolution 2009-17, duly adopted this 21st day of September 2022. Board of Commissioners, Township of Aston, James Seagull, President, Kelly Ann Pickens, Township Secretary.
Second.
I have second. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Line item D, consider a resolution to submit a traffic signal maintenance agreement. Commissioner Pendergrass.
Consider a resolution to submit a traffic signal maintenance agreement to submit future modifications for future application for traffic signal approval. Read this in the form of a motion.
Second.
No, it's good for you.
Be resolved by authority of the Board of Commissioners of the Aston Township, Delaware County, and it's hereby resolved by authority of the same, the Township Manager of Aston Township be authorized and directed to submit the attached traffic signal maintenance agreement to submit future modifications to the attached traffic signal maintenance agreement and submit further applications for traffic signal approval, either in writing or via electronic signature, to the Department of Transportation and to sign the agreement on behalf of Aston Township. Attested by our signature of Kelly A. Tippett, Secretary, James Seagull, President, Board of Commissioners, in the form of a motion.
I have second. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Line item E, consider a resolution to submit a grant application for the third round of the Delco Greenways Grant. Commissioner McGinley.
Thanks. There's two resolutions. I'll read them one by one. The first one is resolution number 23, Municipality of Aston Township, Delaware County, Pennsylvania. Whereas Delaware County Council has established the Delco Greenways Grant Program to be utilized by the municipalities of Delaware County. And whereas the Delco Greenways Conserve, Enhance, Connect, or Planning and Design grants may be used by the municipality for the improvement or acquisition of recreation land or planning services for such activities. And whereas the municipality of Aston, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, desires to participate in the Delco Greenways Grant Program in order to help fund the Aston Township Amphitheater. Whereas the municipality will have available any and all funding needed to complete this project. Now, therefore, by the governing body of Aston, Delaware County, Pennsylvania as follows. 1. That the municipality of Aston, Delaware County, Pennsylvania hereby approves the filing of an application for the Delaware County Municipal Grant Program Assistance. And 2. That William DeFeo, Township Manager, is hereby authorized and directed to execute and file the appropriate form to the Delaware County Planning Department. We need to do these one by one or do them collectively?
I think, yes.
Okay. All right. This is going to sound very similar. So resolution number 24, Municipality of Aston Township, Delaware County, Pennsylvania. Whereas Delaware County Council has established the Delco Greenways Grant Program to be utilized by the municipalities of Delaware County. And whereas the Delco Greenways Conserve, Enhance, Connect, or Planning and Design grants may be used by the municipality for the improvement or acquisition of recreation land or planning services for such activities. And whereas the municipality of Aston, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, desires to participate in the Delco Greenways Grant Program in order to help feasibility study. Whereas the municipality will have available any and all funding needed to complete this project. Now, therefore, by the governing body of Aston, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, as follows. 1, that the municipality of Aston, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, hereby approves the filing of an application for the Delaware County Municipal Grant Program Assistance. 2, that William DeFeo, Township Manager, is hereby authorized and directed to execute and file the appropriate forms with the Delaware County Planning Department. Duly presented and adopted by the governing body of Aston, public meeting held this 21st day on September 2022. I make these 2 resolutions in the form of a motion.
I have a second. We're going to vote on resolution number 23 and 24. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Next item, consider a motion to approve the agreement of sale with the Sisters of St. Francis for the acquisition of 43 acres of land. Commissioner Doherty, please.
All right, well, I have a presentation tonight to support this motion. This project's been going on for about a year and a half. We haven't been able to publicly discuss it until we had the agreement of sale, which we're voting on tonight. I recognize that the public watching this may not be able to see everything, so this PDF will be available on the Township website tomorrow.
You see?
Okay, so we're just here to discuss the Red Hill Road Open Space Project. For background, in May 2021, the township was approached by the Sisters of St. Francis regarding the proposed sale of a large tract of land to be reserved as open space. This land is approximately 43 acres, and it's bounded by Red Hill Road and Condo Road. We've been ably assisted in this process by Natural Lands. The link for Natural Lands and the Sisters of St. Francis are there in the slide. So the location. This slide is a little bit old. I think this is from 2018. This showed the property owned by the Sisters of St. Francis as of 2018. Since this was taken, they sold off some of this. So the area in orange is owned by the Sisters. The area we're talking about is up at the top, bounded by a black line. That's the 43 acres we're referring to here. Zoom it in. So there's Convent Road, there's Red Hill Road on the left, and I'm showing you Mountain Road just as a reference to see where it's located. Actually, for a little background, for those who may remember, at one point this property was under consideration as a potential site for St. Charles Seminary. That was a years back. So, August of last year, we had the land appraised. They came back with an appraisal. Estimate of fair market value as of August 21st, 2021 was $2,150,000. This is for 43 acres. So we don't have $2,150,000 lying around in the township to buy this land, so obviously we have to do some fundraising. So on top we have the appraised value of $2.1 million. The Sisters were very generously offered to basically discount the cost of land by $225,000. Aston Township has agreed to contribute upwards of $100,000 to this project. Last year, I'm going to go into more detail on these grants in a few minutes. Last year we applied for a Delaware County Greenways grant, and we got awarded $500,000. Back in it was April, we applied for a DCNR grant, and we were awarded $1,075,000. That was just 2 weeks ago we got that. We still have at least one more grant outstanding. We submitted a local share account grant, which I'll talk about in a minute. That's upwards of $1 million. So we really over-submitted our grant funding to make sure we had enough money. Also, we potentially have a private funder who has not been disclosed to us. The National Lands knows who this person is. They may be willing, may be able to make up the difference if we don't have enough money. So right now we're short about $250,000 as of today for this project. So the first is the Delco Greenways grant. This was approved as Aston Township Resolution 2021-85, exactly 1 year ago today. The grant was awarded October 28th for $500,000. I have a hyperlink there if you want to see it. There it is, the Red Hill Road property acquisition, Aston Township, $500,000. This is the one we got 2 weeks ago. The DCNR grant, we applied for this back in April under Township Resolution 2022-49. We were awarded $1,093,000 for this. $1,093,900. Of that, $1,075,000 can be used towards the acquisition of land. They give you a little bit extra, an additional $18,900 was the work to help cover the transaction expenses like appraisals and surveys. And like the other one, I have a link there to show you the award announcement. This one's interesting. This is the local share account grant. Now, this is at the bottom. There's an overview for this. This is essentially state gaming money, like horse track racing and casinos. I'll read the bottom. The PA Horse Racing Development and Gaming Act, 2004, as amended, provides for the distribution of gaming revenues throughout the Commonwealth Financing Authority to support projects in the public interest within the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Uses projects in the public interest, such as conservation, projects that improve the quality of life of citizens in the community, and eligible projects must be owned and maintained by an eligible applicant or nonprofit, which is the township. So we requested $1 million. This is really competitive. We're unlikely to receive the fully requested amount. We don't expect to hear anything back until November at the absolute earliest. So I have a link for that as well. So the timeline for this project, so as I mentioned, we started back in May of 2021. We did the appraisal in August. Grant submissions happened between September and April. Tonight we come to the agreement of sale where we publicly discuss the project. Hopefully, knock on wood, we get some money from the LSA grant, local share account grant, in November. I had asterisks there for everything else. If we get the money we need, the attached best to do is due diligence in roughly Q1 of next year. The sisters would have to subdivide this land because right now all the sisters' land is under one folio number. So at some point they're going to have to subdivide, basically separate these 43 acres. So residents, please don't freak out when you see there's a subdivision. It's a necessary step in this process. And finally, hopefully by the end of Q2 2023, we'll be when they sell. I just want to acknowledge a few people. First, from Natural Lands, we have Robin Jenny, who's actually with us tonight in the audience. Robin has done a great job steering us towards the grants and actually doing the drafting on the grant applications. It's a very difficult job. She's done a wonderful job. Obviously, been very effective because we got a few grants. I want to thank Kelly Pippin, our assistant township manager. She's been with me since the very beginning, since May of last year. Bill DeFeo, our township manager, he's pretty much taken over since he came on. Of course, Beth Beck, our solicitor, she's involved in everything in this project. Joe Mastuzzo has given us 2 cents as well. I also want to thank State Senator John Kane and State Rep. Leanne Kruger. They wrote letters of support for some of these grants, and we thank them for their help. And finally, I want to thank the Sisters of St. Francis for taking care of the land, for being good stewards for so many decades, and for trusting the township to preserve this land. Well, finally, if we have to be honest, if anybody other than the Sisters of St. Francis owned this land, it would have been developed long ago. So that is all I have. That is my presentation.
Thank you, very well done.
Good job.
Now I'll read the motion. I make a
We
motion.
get the lights on?
I can read it. I make a motion to approve the agreement of sale with the Sisters of St. Francis for the acquisition of 43 acres of land located on the northeast corner of Randall Road and southwest corner of Convent Road for use as open space and passive recreation. Before the motion.
Second. A second. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you. Motion to approve the sewer easement agreement. Commissioner McGinn, please.
Thank you. I make a motion to approve sanitary sewer easement agreement with Vantage Real Estate Solutions LLC for the property located at 427 Valley. Folio number 02. The financing piece of this, but as everybody knows, we've been nomads now for a little while. While we had the township meetings up until this past one at the traditional municipal building on Hell Road, obviously we're lacking right now also a police station. So I think most folks know we temporarily located out, off of the committee and kind of gone through steps to evaluate what our options for Valley. And so really what we're doing tonight is making a motion, which I'll read, again, to begin that planning and evaluation process. process. So the one thing I'll say is for anybody here and folks listening, there's going to be a lot of opportunity in terms of for, public comment, people to weigh in, evaluate what we need, what we don't need. And remember, these are always tough because your decision is and gets us everything that we need to. So just a little bit of background. There's going to be a lot more to come on this, but I didn't want to just read the motion and folks say, well, what is this? So that's a little bit of background. So here we go. So I make a motion to approve Bernardin of Westchester, PA for the architectural service municipal building, as well as the Aston Township Police Department, the township manager, and to effectuate their appointment.
Before we move motion, I have a second. Any questions or comments?
Paying Sourcewell in the amount of $92,372.35 for a salt and anti-skid storage building to be installed in the new public works building. In the form of a motion.
Second.
I have second. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Line item J, consider a motion to approve the naming at Aston Township Community Center and Library. Commissioner Booth.
I make a motion to approve the name change, the Aston Township Community Center, to the name of James W. McGinn Community Center and Library, in the form of a motion.
Second.
I have second. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Line item K, announce notice of intent to repeal Chapter 1278.03B, which allows food processing in limited industrial district. Commissioner Berry.
I would like to announce notice of intent to repeal chapter 1278.
Thank you. Line item L, consider a motion to approve the refund. Commissioner Dockery.
I make a motion to approve the refund of $1,486.86 to Robert and Maureen Clark for a double tax payment. Full motion.
Second.
Any second questions or comments? All in favor? Consider a motion to approve the refund. Commissioner Dockery.
I make a motion to approve the refund of $123.76 to James Noyce for an overpayment made in 2021. Full motion. Second.
Any second questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Line item
Was established in Delco Greenways for municipalities in Delaware County, and whereas the Delco Greenways Conserve, Enhance, Connect, or Planning and Design grants may be used by the municipality for the improvement or acquisition of recreation land or planning services for such activities, and whereas the municipality 22, municipality Kelly Pippin, Township Secretary, and full motion.
Second. I have second questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Commissioner Higgins, do you have any escrow release?
Thank you. This is the first time I can remember
Marion Gold, 3235 Broward Circle. Nation area vacant for administration. For the APA webpage, which is astonpa.com, where you can fill out your form and GUTMAN122@verizon.net. Wristbands can be purchased in advance for a donation of $4 each at the community center. Now until Friday, September 30th. Wristband purchased during the day of the event will be $5 each. We need proof of access time of purchase. Information about Community Day can be found on Aston Public Access TV, Comcast Channel 5, Comcast.net. Anyone interested in participating in Community Day? The Community Day information is myself, Mary Ann Bowles, 610. Hired. You'll be hired.
can't get any wings. But this year, I'm finding it hard, the only pies I can find are pumpkin. And I'm going to like pumpkin. But now, and we have our own Delco Spider-Man and Delco Batman that will also be in the parade and walking around, having pictures with the children, along with many of our cartoon characters. Unfortunately, this year, we have to cancel the axe throwing, which was a big thing. But they're moving there, we don't have the manpower to do the same with the escape room. I promise, I'm gonna try and get it next year if we have to do it ourselves.
Okay.
I think that's all I had to say, but I am begging for volunteers. And also, I would like to say that I am a baseball mom, and these coaches played with my kids, so that's telling you how old I am. But I love these kids playing ball. Mine went through high school, college, semi-pro, and just baseball is my heart, so I am very proud of all of them. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
You know, top 2931 Concord. And applaud, especially for everything, but especially for the hometown heroes banners. We've seen them up, we thought they were great. I was very pleased with how organized the example. And also too, in line with that, because I did see in the newsletter that it talked about the synchronization of Concord Road.
Yeah, that was another grant that the township got.
So do you have a time frame on that? Because
Well,
I've been praying daily.
Yeah, probably not until, we're waiting for the paperwork to come from the state. It'll definitely be a 2023 project. But the good news is we've got all the signals interconnected on Kennel now, we'll have them all interconnected on.
Yeah, but it's also the smaller roads like Pancoast where you only get 2 to 3 cars, which the crossing guards can affirm that, and then to the racing through, and then also to, quite honestly, I'm a corner property, and I'm turning, and people, there's a sign, a non-enforceable sign, but there's a sign, don't block the driveway. Of course, we know people can't read signs anyway, so I'm there, and traffic is blocked into the street corner, so that it's totally gridlocked. And I'm sorry, I'm not gonna drive around the block 3 or 4 times to get into my driveway, so I was kind of hoping there would be a quicker resolution.
But again, as soon as we get the paperwork, then we'll be off to the races, no pun intended.
I worked that corner all week. I can test which.
Yeah. And last but not least, we do not have our street cleaning machine anymore, do we?
Street sweepers out road.
It's working.
That can't be fixed.
Because I know it hasn't been around for a while, and I'm stopping to clean up the butts, I'm sorry. Cigarette butts is not in my contract to clean on the street, those things. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Nicholas Penzer, 40 Morgan, 30 Morgan Road, Aston, PA. This Barnagon, has this been used by anyone else? Has it become recommended by any neighboring township?
Yes.
Or which township?
They actually designed the community center. They've done many projects.
Our community.
Yes, and they've done many projects throughout. Commissioner McGinn, you want to elaborate on them? Dealt with them more than I have.
Yeah, I mean, I think we touched on it. One of the lead architects was actually, if you look at the Blackman Center Community Center, was one of the developers who was the lead architect for the community center. They've done a number of other projects in varying forms all across Pennsylvania. Chester County, for example, like West Wetland Township was one that they did. You know, a very capable firm came strongly recommended.
Right on. Well, how much did the community center end up second question is, how much, do you know what the cubic, well, I use feet in the science, the cubic feet of salt that can be stored in this storage facility? They're buying from White's brand?
So you're switching gears, I guess, to the
So it's currently, it's gonna be bigger than the existing salt barn that we have at 5021 Canal Road.
Right.
So we're gonna contract them to have it installed, and we should move all the salt in there now. Get moved over.
What material is going to be made out of? That seems, I don't know, I'm not exactly, on the salt storage business, but that seems a bit cheap, so.
No, it's gonna be a sturdy unit. It's got like 20-year guarantee with it, and it's gonna be completely constructed. And because we have it on the new public works facility, that ground's been already graded for, so we didn't have to pay for that to be done. And our public works department is gonna do a little bit of work too for the project.
Anything else? All right, anyone else? Seeing none, Commissioner Dockery.
I just want to thank the fire department for hosting our meeting tonight.
Thank you.
Same here, plus we'll congratulate all the baseball teams who are here today. And I want to thank John for the job he did with the presentation.
Yeah, very nice.
I also like to thank the fire department for using the meeting room, and also congratulate all the players and coaches for a great season. Thank you.
Commissioner.
Yes. I'd like to congratulate the two Aston Middletown teams, the one from Aston Valley. Congratulations to the players and the coaches. I'd like to special thanks go out to the Aston Township Fire Department for their hospitality tonight and going forward until we have a township building. And to Mike, thank you as the chairman of the fire company. I appreciate it. Everybody, I hope you come out and enjoy Community Day. And I think the reason we're not having an accident, maybe the people don't trust Joe Hart back there. Joe Hart's the guy that was running the, what's that, Joe? And
Besides the record for hit by pitch.
By an action.
And also Nancy mentioned renaming the community center for Jimmy McGinn. And I just hope Jimmy up there, you're pleased. So that's all I have.
Probably said about time.
I'm going to elaborate at this time about the community center. 25 years ago, a younger man named Jim McGinn worked very diligently with a young man named Rick Owsley. And yes, Jim and I were best friends, and I helped him at that time. And we lobbied the neighbors, we lobbied for money, and we had a congressman back then by the name of Kurt Weldon, who happened to live in Aston Township, and he was very influential in helping us raise some funds, et cetera, et cetera. 25 years ago, October, Jim's no longer here, but that community center would not be there if it wasn't for the work that he, Rick Allison, and a few other people. Joe Viscuso was around back then. I think you and I. Joe, you were here, but you're just like a little toddler at that time. So on October 30th, which is Sunday, we're going to dedicate the building to Jim and rededicate the gymnasium to Rick Owsley. So we worked on a sign, Chief Ruggieri, Kelly Pippin. We contacted a company to make a sign, and it will be named the James W. McGinn Community Center and Library. And the gymnasium will remain in Rick Owsley's name. So if you'd like to stop up that day, please feel free. 6 o'clock on the 30th of October, which is a Sunday, and everyone's welcome to stop up and honor Jim for all the hard work that he put into this. And with that being said, I have a couple more things. Thank you to the board for allowing this to happen. As you all know, he was my dearest friend, and I sit in the seat that he got for 40 years. Thank you, Mike, to the fire department for everything, having us here, allowing us to be here. congratulate the Aston Middletown Little League, both teams, and the Aston Valley Little League. Joe Hart, take notice that I said Aston Valley. It's been a standing running joke that I'm at Aston Middletown and Joe's been at Aston Valley, and we've had a kind of rivalry for all the years, but the boys did an excellent job. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Commissioner Regan.
Yeah, just echoing some thanks to go around, fire department, Mike and everyone, thank you for hosting us. Congratulations to obviously Aston Valley Major Champs. We started out last year recognizing the Major League Champs at Aston Valley. I think it's a neat tradition. The boys like it. It's an opportunity to get up, wear your jerseys, and get recognized. So it's a neat thing. Aston Valley, for the most part, I think all the kids are in Aston Middletown just by the name. It's a little bit more mixed. So it's a good recognition. Aston Middletown, 11 and 12-year-old teams, congrats. Coached a lot of the kids that were in this room, either coached directly, coached against them, or my kids played on the team. So it's neat, to see them recognized and get to be in a meeting like this and just experience kind of, municipal government, for lack of a better term. A couple other quick things. Thank you from a community standpoint, Mary Ann, Nancy, everybody else that's involved. It's a great day. Hopefully we get great weather for it. We always get a good turnout, but folks that are listening, put the date in, spread the word, and please participate. Also, good luck to our fall seasons and our athletes. We have baseball in here now. We have some kids that play fall baseball at Aston Valley, but other kids in football, at Aston AA and other programs, kids in soccer at Aston Youth Soccer Association, and the kids in various sports with the CYO and St. Joe's and St. Thomas. So good luck on the seasons. We have a lot of great young athletes in Aston, and hopefully they have a great season. A couple other quick notes first. I think plenty have noticed, but Aston Mills, Bernie Highway finally paved. Hopefully that'll give us all a little less cost when we take our cars in to get repaired and for tires and things like that. As a reminder, it is a state road, so we have full control over that. But special thanks to the staff. It would always be, Bill can attest, bugging him and Joe and our state elected officials just to stay on PennDOT, so we didn't miss another paving season. We got that in, and the road's nice and smooth, and glad for that. One other note, I got some complaints recently about noise coming from the newly, I don't know if it's the newly active Sept rail, right, which have been inactive for all those years. There's a crossing Lenai Road. It's in Middletown Township, not Aston. Any questions about quiet zone, things like that? I can tell you it's a very complicated process. I did speak the other day to the Middletown Township manager and just ask him, hey, have you gotten some complaints? And I think he had gotten some from Middletown and Chester Heights in terms of anything to do with the quiet zone. It's not an asset, so it's not something that we can control. We'll stay engaged with Middletown and keep up with them and see what they have, but it's not something that we can do. It's to set expectations. I can tell you from past experience, it's not a light lift at all, and it's very hard to get one of those quiet zones, especially when you look at where that rail crossing is. And lastly, I can't not say how pleased I am and how proud I know Jim again, and I call him Uncle Jimmy. He's my uncle, my godfather. Somebody that moved from Chester to Aston. I think he was like 8 or 9, and never left. Super proud of Aston Township. Wore it on his chest often with a shirt or a hat, and would do anything in terms of for Aston. And was always the first to tell you he was proud that he was from Aston Township. I know we talked a lot, but just a quick anecdote I can't not say here. My wife, we started dating at the end of college, and she came down for my graduation party from college, right? And so we have a whole family, folks that know the McGinns know it's a big crew, and then my mom's side is as well. So she hadn't really met any of my extended family, and and she's pulling in. She had gotten a little lost on the street, and some big guy stands up and yells at her and says, "What are you doing? Who are you here for? How do you?" And she goes, "Oh, I'm here for Joe's graduation party." He's like, "How do you know Joe?" She's like, "Well, it's my boyfriend." And he goes, "Well, you can't do that here. If you do that in Aston Township, I'll have you locked up." So, at that point, if I could bet the odds that my wife would move from New York, where she's originally from, to Aston Township, I would say it's off the board. But here we are. We've been here for a bunch of years. Anyway, just had to share that anecdote, and really proud of this, and should recognize Kurt Weller, our former congressman too, who raised it and recommended that this is something the board considered. So that's it for me. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner McGinn. Mr. McPhail.
Yeah, I just want to thank Aston Township Fire Department for her hospitality, and also mention thank Kelly for putting this together. She kind of coordinated all this for happening. Thank you very much, Kelly. That's all I have.
Kelly, have?
Just a congratulations to the Aston Valley, Aston Police. Obviously, I have to say Aston Valley first, because that's what my kids and I'm not going to give the redundancy of the firehouse. They know that I appreciate them and their help and being very easy to work with. That's all I got.
Thank you. All right, once again, can't thank the fire department enough for allowing us to come in here. It's a beautiful facility, and hopefully we'll get ours soon. But congratulations on all the ball players, both leagues, and with that, I need a motion to